In the heart of Beijing rises a city once trodden only by emperors, tightly hidden from the eyes of the outside world, the Forbidden City. This enormous palace complex, named after the prohibition of public entry, is more than just an architectural marvel. It is a universe woven with 500 years of intrigue, dreams, and legends. Today, it attracts millions of visitors. Yet it was once a realm where only a select few could breathe. What secrets were whispered behind its thick walls, which shadows ruled, who knows? Construction of the Forbidden City began in 1406 by order of Yongle, the powerful emperor of the Ming dynasty. The construction lasted exactly 14 years. Tens of thousands of laborers, master craftsmen, and architects carried tons of stone over frozen rivers. Even the foundation of the palace was a miracle in itself. Giant marble blocks were brought from miles away by methods that remain unsolved to this day. Built according to China's feng shui principles, the palace was back to the north and faced south. For according to ancient Chinese belief, the north was the direction of evil and attack. The palace had to turn its back to these threats, accept all good energy from the south, and leave evil behind. The structure itself is a message: golden roofs, red walls, and vast courtyards. Every color, every pattern, every stone means something. The yellow tiles on the palace roofs symbolize the absolute authority of yellow, the imperial color. Only the emperor could use this color. To see a yellow roof outside the Forbidden City was equivalent to treason at that time. There was only one exception. The roof of the palace kitchen was black, representing the color of water as a wish for protection against fire. At the very center of the Forbidden City, rising on 7 terrace levels, stands the Dian, the Hall of Supreme Harmony, regarded as the pinnacle of Chinese architecture. Here, coronations, celebrations, and major decisions were made. Legend says that under this hall, buried in the earth, lies a sacred turtle. Its duty is to foresee disasters that would shake the imperial throne and provide spiritual protection. It is said that before an earthquake, the ground vibrated slightly and murmurs were heard on the hall's columns. Was this the turtle's warning or the voice of nature? It is rumored that there are a total of 8,707 rooms in the palace. This number actually has a mystical meaning. According to Chinese mythology, heaven consists of 9,999 rooms. As a mortal, the emperor must approach godliness but never equal it. That's why the number of rooms in the Forbidden City never reached 9,000, always remaining one step behind the divine. However, some historians believe this number is exaggerated. They suggest there are actually around 6,000 rooms. A life behind the walls was isolated from the outside world. The palace was not only a center of administration, but a living universe. Thousands of concubines, eunuchs, and bureaucrats lived in the service of the emperor. Each of them could be ignored, exiled, or face even worse for the tiniest mistake. Young girls brought to the palace for concubine selection said farewell to their families and could never step outside again. Their fate was now solely in the emperor's gaze. One unnoticed could live forever in the shadows, while another, with a smile, could become the mother of a crown prince, even changing the course of history. And there was something else wandering in the shadows: ghosts. Old stories told among the night guards of the Forbidden City say the palace walls are still filled with restless spirits. The echoes of footsteps in the silence of the night, the sounds of an unseen person running through the corridors, or shadows that suddenly appear and disappear. Were these merely horror stories invented by old guards, or do the sorrows of the past still echo within the walls? One of the most famous ghost stories is about a young concubine said to have been strangled to death. In the northern courtyard of the Forbidden City, at a certain hour at night, a woman in white is seen walking in tears. Most guards who saw her either resigned or never set foot inside the palace again. Some still claim to have seen the sadness in her eyes. The Forbidden City is also a center of assassinations and palace coups. Some emperors were born here, ascended the throne here, and died here, some by natural causes, some by poison. It is known that poison masters were specifically trained in the palace, and some teacups were made with double walls just for that reason. Everything was magnificent, but nothing was safe. And perhaps one of the strangest stories concerns the clocks in the palace. There is a clock hall where clocks gifted from Europe in the 18th century are kept. One of these clocks emits a strange bell sound every day at exactly 5 o'clock. Modern experts attribute this to a flaw in the clock's mechanism, yet some believe it is a sign. Destinies change at the 5th hour in the palace. Today, the Forbidden City is a museum, but its atmosphere is still like that of a palace. As you walk through its walls, the silence of history lingers over you like a shadow. The footsteps of emperors who once walked here seem to reach your ears on the wind. The echoes of ceremonies are still hidden in the stones of the courtyards. Every corner is another legend, every detail another story waiting to be told. The Forbidden City is no longer forbidden, yet it still holds unopened doors, unopened chests, unsolved secrets. For some cities are built not only of stone and earth, but of the silence of time, memory, and ghosts. And perhaps the Forbidden City still hosts an invisible emperor who reigns in that silence. For the continuation of this magical story, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.